Hey everybody, this is the Sliders Review, and I'm here today to talk to you about why I think Neve Campbell is making a genius move for not appearing in Scream 6. If she can pull this off, then she will be a literal genius. So let me explain. I know what some of y'all are probably thinking. Oh, you just don't want her to show up in Scream 6 because you hate Scream 5. That is part of the reason. See, I will say this until the day I'm no longer on Earth. I hate Scream 5. I hate Scream 5. I hate Scream 5. It sucks. Period. Scream 2022, as some call it, and for some reason they're calling it Scream. No, don't disrespect the first Scream. It is a crappy movie, period, right down to its blue tinted color. And one main reason why I hate that movie so stinking much, other than the actual story and just the execution and everything like that and the characters, I don't like how they pissed on the original three characters. They made Dewey into just like this slump of a man, and then they killed him off. Dewey, when he first started, was just a lovable goofball, and with each movie, he was becoming more and more that of a man. To the part of the fourth entry, he was the sheriff. Now all that is just like taken away. Then there is Gail. Seriously, I didn't even recognize Gail. Like, she didn't act the way Gail normally does. She didn't say not one smart mouth little thing or one little sassy thing. That is not Gail Weathers. She is a very blunt, in your face, 80s smash talk type person. And then there is the woman herself, Sydney. Which I don't even really remember what Sydney did in that movie other than saying, of course I have a gun, I'm Sydney Prescott. Like, that's all I really remember. And that's really all I remember. And it's just like a lot, and I've been seeing so many YouTubers and stuff defending this movie, defending Campbell's role in this movie, talking about, oh, she didn't have to be in the movie that much, and and she's like a mentor, blah blah. She wasn't even really mentoring nobody. Like, it was a thankless role and everything. It was a pathetic, meaningless role. And so I still to this day believe part of the reason why she's a little pissy and stuff is because of the role she had in the fifth one. And if she's not, then some of the fans are. And everything. But this doesn't have to do with the size of the role. It has to do with the size of the bank account, the ching, the money. And so, like, I was watching, what's his name? Jamie Kennedy, who played Randy in the Scream movies, right? And he was talking about the whole Neve Campbell thing not appearing in Scream 6. And he said he was, I think, at a convention and everything. And so the thing is, he keeps in touch with a lot of the former cast members from Scream and the people who work on the new ones, because they asked him to come back and promote it and stuff like that. So from what I'm gathering, he knows something about Scream 6, but he ain't allowed to tell, and he ain't telling. But he did give a couple of tidbits, and from what I'm able to somewhat gather, it seems like Sydney had a bigger role in Scream 6 and everything. A whole lot bigger than what was in 5. Because when you look at Scream 4 is supposed to introduce a brand new cast. And they did. But the moment they brought back the OG cast, you completely forgot about the new cast. And, and so if this is true, and it seems like she was going to have a bigger role in Scream 6, well then what was the problem? Money. She feels as though she should be paid more money because she is the literal face of that franchise. And she is Sydney Prescott. Sydney Prescott, when it comes to Final Girls, she's probably everybody's favorite next to that of Jamie Lee Curtis. But here's the thing about Jamie Lee Curtis. I've never seen none of the Halloween movies. None of them. And so therefore Jamie Lee Curtis is not my final girl. My very first final girl I've ever seen was Sydney Prescott. And I've been a Neve Campbell fan ever since Party of Five. Now, like I said in my last video, I didn't know she was that much of a rock and roll type star because I haven't really seen or even heard her be in much stuff. I don't ever hear her promote nothing. Like, I follow her on Instagram. She don't promote nothing. She did promote Scream 5, but that's about it. And so she rarely posts anything because I keep forgetting she's Canadian and everything. I don't have Canadian TV channels and get a lot of their shows and stuff. And so I only know her from Party of Five, Scream, The Craft, and Wild Things. That's like literally all I know her from. But of course, she's been doing other bankable stuff ever since, you know, like the 90s and 2000s and stuff. And so, you know, she has a right to feel like she deserves a large, like, sum of money because she is the face of that franchise. And this is the part now, it was 6 minutes going on. This is why I think she is genius for doing this. If she can play her cards right, oh, she's gonna make a lot of stinking money. If she can play them cards right, she's gonna make a lot of money. First reason why this is genius. One, she is sending a message to Hollywood, and that is treat your female stars with the respect you treat the men. The woman who played or used to play Jean Grey, the older one, the adult version, she was upset. She wanted to come back for the Fox's X-Men movies when they were still doing their thing, but they never really wanted her to come back because she got older. She got in her 40s and I think maybe her 50s and stuff like that probably. I'm not sure how old she is. And she got upset. She's kind of like, well, if Hugh Jackman and Patrick Stewart can come back and they're a lot older and they can do that CGI stuff on their faces or whatever, or just bring them back for an older role, why not her? And she made a good point. So this will be sending a huge message out to Hollywood, the networks, the studios, all of them that, you know, once a woman hits like 40, that shouldn't be the end of their career. This is something they've been fighting for decades and everything. Now, when it comes to of higher pay, the actress who plays Maggie Green on The Walking Dead had a very similar story. She wanted to get paid as much as her two lead characters. Or stars, co-stars, and she deserved it because she showed up in season 2. The other 2 stars were there in season 1. She should be getting paid more money, and she wasn't. And you know what? She said adios, and she went to an ABC show. Now, I like that ABC show, Whiskey Cavalier, but it tanked and got canceled after 1 season. So she was forced to go back to that of The Walking Dead. I'm sure she probably felt the shame and everything. Now, do they pay her more money now? I have no idea. But I bet you anything they modify her contract to either where she'll either get paid more money or she will get some type of perk. One of those perks that did happen, she getting a spinoff now with her and Negan. I don't know why those 2 characters, but hey, whatever. Because I haven't seen Walking Dead since that last episode I reviewed because I don't have cable. And so I don't know what's been going on. And so her statement she tried to make kind of backfired because she had to go back to the company that, you know, she was like fighting against and everything. And then so another part that makes this genius is that she's gonna let Paramount know who is the real boss when it comes to Scream. It ain't them, it's her and everything. Because she is literally the face of the franchise. You take her out, the movie is probably gonna tank. That normally what happens to TV shows when you take out the lead. Those TV shows only last like 1, maybe 2 or 3 seasons afterwards, but they end up like dropping in ratings and then they get canceled. It happened with The Office. It happened with 2.5 Men. It's happened with that 70s show. It always happens. And they're going to be eating a lot of crow if they make a huge mistake. Another reason why, and this is probably the last one of them all, is the most genius one of all, is that she has the ability to pull off a Daniel Craig. What does that mean? Well, I will explain it to you, because what's the point of me talking if I ain't gonna explain it? Daniel Craig is the second Bond I've ever seen, and he's my favorite. I've only seen two, and I really loved his first three Bond movies. I don't particularly like the last two, but that's not the point. I just wanted to point that out. Anyway, strangely enough, he hates playing James Bond. And that's why now in the fifth one, he is no longer James Bond, because they killed the character off. And so the question is, why does he keep coming back if he hates these movies with passion? He has explained why he hates these movies with passion. He says, plain and simple, he does it for the money and everything, because they pay him in the millions. But here's the thing, the last two movies, he held out. He said, plain and simple, he ain't coming back. So what happened? They negotiated. He held out for a long time until they paid him way more money. Because if they really wanted to keep him, they would do whatever it takes. They will strip their clothes off and run around crazy. They will get on their hands and knees and beg him. They will pay him the extra money. And they did. And he made bank. Other stars have done this. Tobey Maguire did this for the MCU Spider-Man movie that came out. He held out for an extremely long time, to the point where people thought he wasn't even going to do the movie, and then he decided and negotiate to a point where he got the money he wanted. A same thing happened to back many years ago with the star called I forget his name. The dude who plays Chakotay in Star Trek Voyager. Now he's a little different situation. He hated being on that show, and he wanted off the show, because he didn't like the direction that his character was going in. So he threatened to quit. And so they weren't going to let him quit. So he thought to himself, maybe he'll force them to fire him. So he started asking for more money, thinking, because normally when a celebrity asks for more money, they end up getting fired. And so he did that on Star Trek Voyager, thinking they would fire him, but they didn't. They ended up paying him more money and everything. So this is how Neve Campbell can make the big bucks for this movie. One, she could pull a Daniel Craig and just hold out until Paramount finally caves and just gives her the money. Or this is what she'll do. She'll stay completely out of Scream 6. The movie, as we all know, is not going to do that well. I mean, look at the TV series. Did they do any good? No. But then they had different writers and stuff. But anyway, say she doesn't appear at all in Scream 6. The movie tanks. Paramount does not want to lose money. They want to keep milking this thing until like the 100th movie. They don't want to lose the rights to it. So what are they going to do? They're going to cave for that of Scream 7, and they're going to beg her back. And they're going to pay her the money she wants, and probably double that. And that's how she can make bank. If she plays her cards right, she will be making that money. Now, I know what a lot of y'all are probably saying. Well, why did Courtney Cox was one of the first people to sign on to it and everything? And so if Neve Campbell, the face of the franchise, wasn't going to get paid the huge bucks, then Gail, who is like not really the second face, but she's one of the survivors, so she'll probably get paid less probably. I think it has to do with her Friends contract. Basically, I'm pretty sure that nobody from Friends really needs to act anymore. They probably just do it because they love it, or just to make some extra like change money. But I'm pretty sure they don't have to work no more because they're millionaires. Because when they was in, now this is their old contract. I don't know what's been going on now, especially with streaming. Their old contract, towards the end of the series, they negotiated for $1 million per episode. So now that's back when they used to show reruns, and they still show reruns to the day on TV. And of course, what happens when they show reruns, you get residuals and everything. I don't know how much they get for residuals, but they're getting something. And so now with the whole streaming thing, they're probably not getting as much as they used to, or maybe they are. I don't know. It was to the point where Lisa Kudrow got sued by her former manager because he helped negotiate that deal for them to get $1 million, and it was in the contract that he was supposed to get like a sum of it, and she never paid him, and she had to go to court for it and everything. And it was even to the point where people believe she was pretending to be like Phoebe, playing stupid to the judge and everything. So I don't. So Courtney Cox is probably okay and doesn't need like money, but she probably just takes it anyway, just for some like pocket change and everything and stuff. So her situation might be a little different and everything. She'll probably just show up for like a cameo just to say, hey, everybody, and then like leave or something like that. But yeah, I truly think if Neve Campbell can hold it out, wait it out, or at least wait until the 7th movie, because if the 6th one bomb, she should be making pretty good. So yeah. Alrighty, well, I'll talk to y'all later. Bye.